Hello guys, Wahoo here, back with another video. This time around we are going to do the PTS servers gameplay, so we're going to show off some of the stuff right here. If you want to know kind of the patch notes and everything, it is a link down here. I'll probably also link the video where I go over the patch notes, but in the description there's also links to the patch notes itself. But in this video we are going to go over some of the stuff here, and I say some of the stuff is because that on the PTS server I'm not strong enough to go to whatever. I could copy my live server account over to the PTS server, but I would lose out on some stuff that I can't get a hold of again, and that is these XP coins. So if we do at some point get a new class, I can test it out some more, show you guys some more of it. But if I copy my account, then of course I would have this on the server here, so because it will replace everything there is right here. So I want to keep this here so I can do that, but so I don't have to level up a character completely and waste time on that, and just show you guys as fast as possible. So that's why it's right here. And of course it can't be traded, so I can't put it in another chest. It also overwrites over here. So of course the thing it doesn't is of course these ones accounts, for example, the server ones, also the club chest. This one do not either. That's why we have like 7 Gandas and stuff like that. It's just because you can copy them over and then put everything you can trade into these chests and actually save it. So that's why you can also have like billions of flux on the PTS server, because you can just move it over here, put it in the tanks, then move all your flux again, copy again, do it like that. But it's a PTS server, so it's not really duping. It kind of duping is, but it's not really duping because it's a PTS server, which is not up all the time. And yeah, there's also unlimited resources if you didn't know like that, but on the PTS server. But anyways, after the rambling, let's talk about the first thing, and that's of course the Atlas. So here we got the Atlas. First of all, you can probably see it already here. That's probably what's most interesting. But what we saw from the teaser was that there was going to be like more out here, like they were going to make it more, but they are not anymore. They're going to be as we are right now. And don't worry, the Shadow Tower usually is here. It's right over here if you didn't see that. It's just moved up here. It's I guess it's making a half loop, and maybe next year the rest of the loop, who knows. But the map looks exactly as it was before, and also the names are the same. Like it is called permafrost biome, and it's called the same thing. That's what I was didn't really realize when I was going over the PTS notes. It's just the difficulty. That's hard to say. Difficulty is just the name of it. Instead of calling Uber, it's just called Shade, for example. That's 5. That's what we had before of the Uber 1. I know that's Uber, actually Uber 2. This was Uber 1. Now it's just called Uber. And still Fey Forest and so on, and everything basically is the same. Not except for this one. This is of course what it looks like now. This is names of difficulties now. It's still U8 here, and then U9, U10, and U11. So the deep fallow, I think that's what it's called. Just the deep fall is gonna be what it's called now. So it's not Uber 14. It's still that. It's just because they're starting at like this being 0, and then you can see this one being 1. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, and then it goes through all of it. And this one is called, of course, sorry, that's not the one I was clicking on. You can see these are still the same levels right over here, and the same thing goes for, of course, the geo top side down here as well. Is exactly the same, and the same goes for all of these as well. You can see it goes all the way down to 6 because that's where it starts usually. But as you can see right here, this is where we are supposed to be going, and you can see the 3 biomes that are in rotation right now, and that is the permafrost biome. That's of course this one. It's the Cursed Valley, and then also the Lost Island. And it's a little different on the PTS server than it is on the patch notes. I'm not sure which one is going to be right. I'm pretty sure this one is going to be right because I felt like it was a little bit low, the other one. I'm not sure, but this is going to require you for 42,500 power rank. You are going to this one, and since you can't see it from my face, it's also going to require a 10,000 light to enter this one. I'm not sure if that's a little bit over a little bit crazy, but we'll see what happens when it all comes out. But I don't know. I feel like the power rank is a good amount, but I'm not sure if the light should be that high, because if we do have 10,000, we can't enter there, of course, as we start playing this one. But yeah, you can see it might be 10,000, but we'll see what happens when it comes out. I know some people are way over that and stuff like that with Crystal 5 gear and such, but the point is 10,000 seemed a little steep to me, like just to how we basically are right now. So that is what it's going to look like. And as you see, I can't enter right now. I'm not, well, I should be able to enter if I did have my, but again, I can't have two ones, so I can't really show it off. But you guys, if you are strong enough, you guys can go and check it out. My guess is it is just going to be a permafrost biome, and then these ones are just going to be the same. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's something super, super crazy. We'll see what happens when we get there. I hope that it's going to be amazing. Maybe I'll do a video where it comes out. You guys can see it if you want to. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that when it comes out live, and I can do it on there. Of course, I can't show you the gear either, the mythic gear, because again, I don't have, I have crystal free gear because I don't play over here. This is just what I copied like way back. When this was actually amazing. When Crystal 3 gear was amazing, then that was when I copied it, so you can kind of go back and see. It's kind of a long time ago. But the point is, we can show off some more stuff though, and that's of course the new profession, the new rune crafting profession, which is also going to be the last of this video. I know it's not going to be super huge or super long, but yeah, this is what I can show off, and yeah, maybe some of the people out there can show off the rest of it, but I'll definitely show you guys when we get to live if you guys want to see that at some point. But this is new rune crafting, so as you can see, it goes all the way to 400 now. I like it that the 400 one is just a couple of tomes. These are weekly tomes, by the way. These are weekly tomes, these are not repeatable ones. So they are weekly ones. These one, it's going to give you some rune fragments, and it's going to give you some runic vault keys. And these keys are for the new biome or new delve you can go to. I talked about that in PTS server notes there, that this is going to be like kind of a shadow tower where it's kind of set every single week, and it's just kind of, it's just delve, but it's just kind of not random and stuff like that. And I think it's just more difficult, and yeah, it's just tied into that one. And just, you know, this one is right here. You can see that there's a bunch of stuff, new stuff that we are going to talk about in this one as well. But let's go here quickly and let's start out as this one. And of course, I will make an updated guide for my rune crafting because it goes all the way back to here. So we got to start it out as your new player. You're going to start out with the rune slates, and then you're going to go with that. And these are basically buffs that you are going to put on yourself. We'll talk about it a little bit, but these are what it's going to require, and some very simple mats that you are going to get. And of course, you're going to just go to the next step, which is going to be this one. Of course, all the old stuff is in there as well. But now we also have some other stuff. As you can see here, we have something called rune paper as well. These are fairly simple, a little bit more expensive, of course, with a single blank scroll. Not super amazing. Maybe it actually is cheaper than this one, I'm not sure, but this is what you're gonna need, because you're gonna need these rune papers and these rune slates to you know, start crafting up the way to here. You can see I'm already like 250, so you can see I have, you know, gone up. This is basically what it was before. 250 was the last or previous maxed, and then now it goes into the kind of the nitty-gritty of it, as you can see here. So the first thing you make is a blank rune. So the blank rune is just one of these rune papers and these rune slates, one of these each. Pretty simple, pretty easy stuff. And what it does is that you put it in your auto use slot right over here, usually where you have your food, or if you have something else, basically. You put it in here, and then when you do a dungeon, I feel like there was, I have done it, I'll talk about that, but at one time it happened that it didn't proc. Basically, when I did the dungeon, I didn't get some rune fragments out of it, and then it consumes it. So you can just make a bunch of these, and then when you basically run out, you should have a bunch of these, you know, rune fragments. I think it's kind of weird that this one gives it all the way down here. I think you're kind of done with it, but I guess this is just so you don't have to craft these lower ones, you know, and then you have the rune fragments, and you can just craft the best ones and then go on. I think there's some kind of weird stuff. Maybe you guys can tell me, but I'll talk about that when we get to the 350, because that was something that was not adding up to me, but you guys can tell me when we get to that point. So now that you are in the Dabbler, you can make you can also make rune, the ore rune, that's what I mean, sorry. Then a metallic rune as well. So this gives you a protective shield. When you basically take damage, you get a protective shield. So not super amazing. What I was thinking here was kind of funny, is that if you know, make this one, for example, and then basically breaks when you mine some resources, but if you don't go out there, if you just start doing dungeons, you basically have forever 2% extra light, right? Like, that's what I'm saying, right? If you do a dungeon, this gun breaks, then you get these rune fragments you're gonna need for later on. So yeah, but I think you can kind of just make this one, and then you just have 2% light always, until of course you know, mine some resources or randomly get some resources, I guess. Then this one breaks, but I kind of think you can just have this forever. Then, like, it won't break unless you get some ores, right? That's what I'm guessing. But this was, of course, it's as soon as you take damage, it's going to give you that shield and then break. Then you can have a bunch of them in that auto-use thing if you want to do so. But basically, you make some of these, and then you move on to the next one, which is going to be this one. So when your magic find triggers, this is actually pretty awesome. You get one of these, you know, gear crafter vaults. Those are the ones basically that this one's down here, these ones, that when you do a dungeon, you get one of these, you know, couple of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. And these are one, of course, the materials to get to crystal 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 6, sorry, 4 and 5. Pretty cool. So basically, you can make this one, and then you basically get to tier. And of course, you need some rune fragments, so you can't not skip these. But if you're starting out as a new player, you are just gonna need these ones, and you're gonna have a bunch of these that you can run around with as well. I tested it out, of course, with these runes, with this ones, and with this one, which is kind of the max people that has already gone there, so they don't have to start over, basically going through all these steps here. Of course, this is already unlocked for the people that have maxed it out. So if you haven't maxed it out rune crafting, maybe this is a good idea to do so. Then you can start on this one and go through this one. It's not better in any way, I feel like, but it is, you know, just, I feel like they made this so people don't have to go through all the steps up here. If you are an in-game player and have maxed it out for a long time, then of course, yeah, you can just start here basically, and also get some more fragments out of this one, because I tested it in different worlds. So I tested it in the first world here with the lowest one, and I got 1. And then I went to another one, I think it was like the Mega Dark world, and I did a dungeon there. And then I got 2, but I think it's just, it can give you like 1, 2, 3 maybe. It says a few, so I'm guessing that, you know, this one can give you like up to 3 or something like that. Because this one that I made here, I also did a dungeon in the lowest world, and I did the one in the highest one. And the lowest one, I got 11, and then when I did it in the highest one, I only got 10. So I would say that you get between like maybe 10 to 12 from this one. So you can just like get through this a little bit faster as an in-game player. That's basically why I think they have made it like this, because this one seems to be very, very much like this one as well, because it also is very cheap, and people have a lot of cosmic dust, and cosmic dust is sort of also the in-game dust, where you kind of get the blue, the red, and the yellow kind of in the mid-game, and then the cosmic is probably more of an end-game thing at this point, right? So the people would have a lot of this, so they can, you know, get a little bit faster ahead as well. But basically, you are just gonna use different materials and then keep using these rune papers, and then these rune fragments are kind of what you need. So you kind of have, you can't just, you know, buy everything off the marketplace and then, you know, just get done with it. But this, of course, comes when you consume these or consume these ones. So if you're mining a lot, hey, use some of these, and then you get a fragment, so you can keep going on this one. Then we get into these ones. These are the kind of some of these air ones, and fire and water, and they're not really anything special in that sense, but they are kind of just something you're gonna need for this ones, which is going to be more buffs as well. So basically, this is just the prelude, if you can say like that, to these ones as well, which is the real ones as well, if it makes any sense. So this one is if an enemy is defeated, heals you for 50% of your life, which is kind of nice. This one is when you do a critical attack, it also breaks, and then you get 35% critical damage for 60 seconds. So this is super nice offensive one. And this one I find kind of funny, because when it breaks, that's when you are actually going to take a hit that was actually going to defeat you, or kill you basically, and then it's going to trigger an explosion and then knock them back as well. So I'm not really sure that it's going to save you from a death, but I think it's just gonna, maybe you can say it does that, but you know, we have the death defying, so it's kind of funny that we have death defying, and then we have this one as well. So I feel like this is kind of like a double whammy, if you want to say it like that. This is kind of having like 2 extra lives now instead of just having an extra life. I think it is like having this one. So I guess if you have a bunch of these in your auto-use thing, right, then again you are going to... Alright guys, I just have to update you guys on this because I was talking about how much light you get out of the new thing here, the Rune Master, whatever thing it is called right down here. This one, the Rebel Rune, which is going to give you 450 light. So if this goes through to the live servers, this is actually going to give you the most light of everything. Right now it actually is 400 on the fish thing right here. I don't have that much unlocked on the PTS server, so that's why it's not here. But on the live server, it's go up to 400. Maybe there's more than that, but it seems like a little bit harder to get this food because you do have to do a bunch of fishing. You do also have to do a little bit of this, but if you go into this one, you can see this one, it's going to cost you one of these rune papers, which is one of these, which is just like some blank scrolls and stuff, and then of course some blocks. And then the next one is of course this there is this air thing, which is going to cost you air dust and some more of these slates, which is right up here. This is going to cost you some glim and some this stuff, basically. Very simple, very easy to get. And then it's going to cost you some of these rune fragments, but you're going to get that a bunch of these anyways because you're leveling this stuff up, or just like making a bunch of these if you are in the end game. So it's very, very, very simple recipe. And it is going to give you those 450 light, which is currently the most you actually can get. The other stats are not super important, but on the food, it's not super important either. It's mostly the light. So, and it's just how easy it is to get as well. That's really a factor here as well. Maybe the food is better combat stats and stuff, but in the way of easiness, if he's going to call it like that, this seems to be the best. So if you get 450 light out of this, even if it goes down to 400, this is still very, very amazing. And I'm definitely going to make a bunch of these instead of the food. That is for sure. And again, you can make as many of these and you don't have to do delve and stuff like that. You can just do dungeons and of course get some of these. And when you do get down here, you don't even have to make more of these. You can basically just get everything else by that. So when you do get the tome, that is it. So just wanted to add this because I did research it on the live servers. So just a little thing, but yeah, just updating you guys, and now we can head into the rest of the video. Food you can have in your gear, but also 25 jumps is pretty awesome for new players at least. So 450 light, it also seems kind of big. I just can't remember if it's going to be more or less, but the point is you're going to need some of them anyways, because you are going to go into here and then you start making these, and then we go into these ones, and these are now going to be, you can see there's a bunch of stuff that is going to be here. And basically I feel like there's going to be two ways to go through this one if you want to max out your rune crafting. I'll make a complete guide, which is the cheapest, but this one seems to maybe be a little bit more like, this could be cheaper in the sense of time consuming, and this might just be the time consuming thing. Depending on how much flux you have access to, of course, because these materials are going to be some new materials that you are going to get in the new biome, the new place, the one we were talking about before. And these ones, of course, are also, this is also something new where you also have to like trade something in and stuff like that. So I think this might be the pay way, if you can say it like that. And this one is more of the, you have to go and be in the biome just randomly a lot, because I think this is like, these stuff is going to be something you are just gonna get in the biome, but we'll see. So I think you can see these things are not tradable. That's what I'm saying. The other new ore is of course going to be so. But the point is that it's going to cost you, of course, these ones and such, and also some of all of this. And of course, you do have to make 50 of these to get to the next one. And this is where it kind of gets a little bit interesting to me, because if we go and talk on this one, and I might be reading it wrong, I'm not sure, but it produces 10 chocolate algae. I think that's when it charged, and then can be charged without a cooldown, but are consumed when fully charged. So my point is that I feel like this might be something where you are, just like a tome, but you put it in here, but it's like a tome that you get this one. And it says it produces 10 of these chocolate algae, and you can see this right here, but it costs you 15 to make. So I guess it's a way maybe to transfer some of this essence around or something like that. I'm not sure. But to me, it seems like I kind of want to keep the 15 and then, not get 10 back. I feel like I'm losing 5 here. Maybe am I getting it wrong? Like I don't see like you get more than one of these, so it's gonna cost you 15 and then it's gonna be 10. Maybe this is just a bug. Maybe it should be like more. I would just assume that it's gonna cost you some of this, but you're gonna get more of it, right? So you don't have to. You can kind of boost yourself if that you want to do so, but it's kind of the same thing going through all of these. Like it's giving you 10 for each of these ones, but it's gonna cost you 15. Of course, it's gonna cost you some of this essence as well. I'm not sure how you could, get that, but it's something where you kind of convert it at salt water SAM, and you kind of probably not that difficult to get. But the point is, like again, I'm only getting 10 of these depth mana, but I'm paying 15. So not sure if this is a bug or not. It is the PTS server, so just saying. But if this goes live, I don't think I want to do this. I'm just saying, maybe it is. I'll see what happens when it goes live. Maybe some people are smart out there. Well, there is a lot of people smarter than me out there. But yeah, but of course I do need to make 50 of these to get to the 400. So of course I am going to make 50 of these in some way. So I am gonna lose out on, if these are the prices, then I am going to lose out on it. Then I will get some of it back, but then I might not want to need it. Maybe I don't need it at that point. We'll see what the crafting bench in that biome is at salt water SAM. Maybe there's some allies, some mounts, some wings, some stuff like that you need these materials. So you might want to have some of it back, but right now I don't really think I want to have it as well. And then of course we go into all of this. And these are, of course, a little bit more expensive. And these are limited, so we can't like get a bunch of it with all of this. But there might be some way of getting some of that. But yeah, we do need the runic key fragments, and I think these are just from dungeons in the 15s. So we'll get some of that, and then there's some of the paper as well. But you can see you do need a lot of fragments as well. But these are 100 mastery each, so there's 200 mastery points right there. So you're probably going to get to 400. Well, you also get mastery, of course, for every level, but you want to get to 400, and then, of course, you just want to make these 2 tomes because it is 200 mastery. So that was kind of a walkthrough of all of this. Of course, I will make a guide when it all comes out for the rune crafting. And then I can show you guys maybe some live stuff if you guys want to see that, want to see some gameplay on like the live servers when that hits. But that's it for the PTS server. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe it also dragged out a little bit longer than I actually expected, but I kind of went super in depth, I feel like, with the rune crafting. I think I really did some nice testing, and I hope you guys got some more knowledge about that anyway. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, check out the patch notes. Check out everything in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!